god, can you reload any faster? How? Thank you! Oh my god. Give me a fucking break. So Madhu, why are you telling me this, man? Do I look like the developer? See, this is so broken. It's so broken. I'm complaining to the players. I'm complaining to all the player base. This is so broken. This needs to be better, son. But what am I supposed to do? Hey guys, it's Jamie. Now welcome back to another episode of Heroes and Generals, but it's warthunder. And of course, going up the line of medium tanks, we are now taking out the N tier medium tank that you can get in the German faction in Heroes and Generals. That's right. This is the Panther G. And how do I know it's a Panther G? The mainland armor. Originally, the design was to basically make it as curved as possible because they're copying the T-34 design. But I guess something unfortunate happened, which actually did happen to me in the game as well, that the shell would actually bounce off the mainland and go straight down into the tank. I don't know how often does that happen in real life, but there is an implication that it did. But anyway, how does this thing compare to the one in Heroes and Generals? There is actually no freaking competition at all. I'll talk about it in a minute, but now, let's break down the one in warthunder, then we'll compare. Now first things first, armor. You have 80mm upper front plate right here that's sloped at 55 degrees. Yeah, not a lot of guns can actually go right through this at all. German 76, T-34 85, 70 pounder APC BC, Japanese APHE, you name it, they're not getting through this anytime soon. Unfortunately, the same cannot be said about your lower glacis, 50mm slope at 56 degrees, but the good news is that should they actually do penetrate, the transmission will just eat everything. Now for the upper front plate, there's something you need to keep in mind. This thing right here. As you can see, there's no model on it or whatever. There's a lot of times where guns will just punch right through this, to the point where I just resorted to putting a bush on top of it. You don't really need to buy a bush, sometimes just a simple decorator item you get for free from the battle pass is enough, as long as you hide it. The Tiger has like 100mm right here, sitting underneath 100mm, sitting another 100mm right here, as well as the Yak Panther, like 5mm surrounding a variable thickness. I'm guessing this is 100mm, but it can goes up to 200. Like those tanks they bother to model, but this one is like, whatever. Should you angle this thing like the Tiger? My advice is, yeah, maybe just a tiny bit like this, otherwise don't even bother. And the reason is two things. Firstly, the tanks that you face, there are two kinds. One, the Sherman 76, the T-34 85, the 70 pounder APC BC shells, they actually cannot penetrate your upper front plate no matter what. Angle or don't angle, they're not getting through this anytime soon. Unlike the Tiger E, where if you don't angle, mind you, if you don't angle, those shells are going to go right through this pretty easily. Unless of course, yeah. However, for the Panther G, those guns can't really penetrate the upper front plate. However, the second set of enemies that you will face are the enemies that do not give a shit about your armor. I'm talking about IS-2s, ISU-152s, 17 pounder APDS, Hit FS shells. They are going to punch right through this no matter what, doesn't matter if you angle or not. To the point where I say just don't bother angling at all, but more importantly just don't show your broadside. Okay? And the second reason why I say don't bother angling this thing, like sure, there are some guns that can actually penetrate this if you don't angle, but they can't if you angle. But here's the thing though, when they say that the Panther sights are weak, that's not an exaggeration. Those guns that can't penetrate your angled upper front plate, they can still penetrate this if you angle. And then moving on, the turret armor. You have 100mm right here, which I actually have no idea as to why they kind of omitted this Panther G. I mean, what do I mean by that? The Panther A, they made it variable thickness armor. So if anybody's wondering why you can't really penetrate the Panther D or A turret armor by shooting this anymore, that's because they make it variable thickness. Unfortunately, the same cannot be said about the Panther G. Now if they're not going to shoot this, they're definitely going to try to shoot this instead. 110mm of armor, and the unfortunate thing is that there is no curved slope or whatsoever on it. So all the enemy has to do is wait for you to turn the gun at them and they can just shoot this. So my advice is try to bait out the shot by like wiggling a turret, angling a turret, whatsoever. So they hit this at an angle, or they basically hit something like this instead. And then one more weak spot to be careful of is this. Like granted, Sherman 75mm isn't going to punch right through this, so don't worry about the jumbo Shermans anytime soon. Unfortunately though, Sherman 76, T-34-85s, they can definitely punch right through this. And explosive filler will kill 3 out of 5 crewmen right there. So how's the mobility on this thing? It's actually not too bad. I mean, it doesn't really build up speed too well. Like 46 kilometers an hour, yeah sure, but it takes quite a fair bit of time to build up to speed, so that's something you need to keep in mind. But the good news is that going off-road is not really too big of a deal. One more thing to keep in mind, you have a really horrible reverse gear, so don't push out of cover too quickly because once you do, there's no going back. And then moving on to the firepower of this thing, this is a 75mm KWK-42 cannon. It is a much more powerful 75mm cannon than the Panzer IV, even though it's using the same shell, different casing, mind you. And of course, this is a shell that will be firing the Panzer Grenade 39/42, armor-piercing cap ballistic cap shell that pans up to 192mm of armor at point blank range, with 17 grams of explosive mass. Yeah. Almost every single tank you come across don't exactly have armor to resist this thing. And the better part is that most of the time you're facing Shermans and T-34s and Cromwell-based chassis. They don't exactly have crew space, so not having that much explosive mass is not really a big deal. Now you do have access to APCR that pans up to 228mm of armor, but then again, well, we don't really trust this thing to penetrate slope armor. And not to mention, most of the time you'll be using APC-BC shell. But if you want to bring a few of these just in case, maybe 10, that's about it. Now like the Panzer IV-H, you do have two MG34 machine guns right here, which is pretty useful for tearing up open top vehicles, but just in case, bring a few high explosive. And now the other aspects of the gun, you can carry up to 82 rounds of ammunition. I say, please bring less. As you can see, they're literally all over the tank. Anyway, reloading speed on this thing, keep in mind that I maxed out on weapon reloading and leadership with expert crew on. I managed to bump it down to 8 seconds. Yeah, you might want to pick your shots very carefully this thing because you can get yourself caught with your pants down very easily. Especially since you're dealing with Shermans or Fireflies that can reload up to about 6.5 seconds or so. Vertical guidance, -8 gun depression, which is not too bad. It's slightly lacking, but it's really not too bad. And finally, no gun stabilizer, and that's something you need to keep in mind because even if you're just inching forward, your gun does bounce quite a fair bit. And there you have it, this is the Panther G. And of course, the time is now. How does this thing compare to the one in Heroes and Generals? There is no competition at all. Heroes and Generals one is absolutely terrible. Firstly, the armor does not work at all. Like, 80mm slope, but you're not shooting slope at all, you're just shooting 80mm of armor. And M10 can actually outgun you, firstly. And then I remember there's one time, I think the guy was using Iron Fist badge or something. He was in his M36 and he fired one shot at me and took away like, what was it, 80% of my health? Like, oh my goodness, with just one shot. So yeah, the armor does not work at all. The gun as well, because of how heavily nerfed it was. I mean, granted, after the shell damage swapping between APCR and stock AP shell, they decided to do the whole caliber buff thing. But oh my goodness, when I picked the Panther up for the very first time, and then using stock shells, I went up against a M5A1 Stuart tank. Yeah, this Stuart tank shot it in the rear. Yeah, this rear. And it did absolutely nothing to the tank at all. Like, just, oh, rear armor hit, rear armor hit, rear armor hit. I fired like 5 shells, and after the 5th shell, it damaged the engine of the Stuart tank. Mind you, not destroy, damage. But yeah, that's how terrible the Panther G is in Heroes and Generals, to the point where I say, German mains, if you're going to complain about how terrible the Panther is in War Thunder, you clearly haven't played Heroes and Generals. But anyway, that's enough beating the dead horse. Now let's take this thing on to battle, and hopefully I can actually do something with this thing because, you know, it's German 5.7, you know. Wish me luck, guys.
Panzergranate geladen! Artillerieschlag auf Koordinaten Echo. 5. Niederhalten.
Echo! 5! Bestätige Koordinaten! Aufgepasst! Eingefeuert!
Ziel beschädigt!
Panzergranate geladen!
Ziel beschädigt! Ziel ausgeschaltet!
Attention! Designated grid square! Panzergranate geladen! Panzergranate geladen!
Getroffen!
Panzergranate geladen!
Getroffen!
Panzergranate geladen!
Ziel beschädigt!
Panther, hello!
Attention to the map! Panzergranate geladen! Panzergranate geladen! Preparing! Panzergranate geladen!
Ziel zerstört!
Angetroffen!
My lord!
Ziel ausgefallen!
I really do not have time to deal with this. There's a guy right there! There is a guy right there! There is a guy right there! Fucking numbnuts!
Koordinaten! Charlie! 6! Niederhalten!
Charlie! 6! Bestätige Koordinaten! Aufgepasst! Abgefeuert! Panzergranate geladen!
Volle Breitseite! Ziel getroffen!
Panzergranate geladen! I'm sorry!
Kette beschädigt! Ziel zerstört!
What's up, homie? What did you see? Should I be concerned?
Geladen!
Yes.
Attention to the designated grid square. Yes. Attention to the map. Panzergranate geladen!
I have no idea where my wrong went.
Attention to the designated grid zone. Panzergranate geladen!
Get the shit out of here, buddy.
Ausgeschaltet!
Panzergranate geladen! Roger that.
Ziel zerstört!
Panzergranate geladen!
I don't see him.
Artillerieschlag in eurem Sektor!
There's one somewhere.
Thank you very much. Attention to the designated grid square. Sie wurden getroffen! Panzergranate geladen!
I'm gonna die.
Aufgefallen!
Need one to fix the track first.
Ziel abgeschaltet!
Where's the T-34-85 or so? Is he dead?
Brenngranate laden! Panzergranate laden! Ziel beschädigt!
Panzergranate geladen. Wir wurden getroffen. Artillerieschlag in eurem Sektor.
Ziel beschädigt!
That's what he said. Oh, wait.
Panzergranate geladen. Just a little more effort, and victory will surely be ours.
Yep, that's what I was worried about.
Ziel zerstört!
Panzergranate geladen.
Getroffen! Volle Reichweite! Ziel zerstört!
Watch your back, homie.
Panzergranate.
Volle Fahrt!
Yep, we win. Woo!
Artillerieschlag in diesem Sektor!
Enemy Scout! Firing at us! A real man fights the Panther at close range!
What's happening? How is it? Drive, 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 drive! I got your tank, buddy.
Ziel abgeschaltet!
Taking fire from the cute little Panther! Fucking adorable, like a puppy.
Stop it. Get off. Leave my tiger friend alone. Worst place to shoot him. Ah, crap.
Mission
Yeah,
failed.
yeah,
We'll get them next door.
Did you even hear the bomb then? That's the thing. Yeah, it was a P-51. That guy I'm more worried about.
A little more effort, and victory will be ours.
Oh, that's not the P-51. Dang, I do. What are you doing so all the way up there? Oh, there's a P-63.
Attention to the map.
There you are.
Another zone captured. We have the advantage.
Dampfahrer, vorwärts, auf! Verstanden, vorwärts!
Ay,
Ziel ausgeschaltet!
Panzergranate geladen. Attention to the map.
Ziel beschädigt!
Enemy forces have captured a zone. Panzergranate geladen.
Ziel zerstört!
Panzergranate geladen.
too late.
Getroffen! Ziel
Is this a mix? Oh, okay.
Panzergranate geladen. Thanks.
Artillerieschlag auf Koordinaten Delta 4. Das war's.
Delta, 4. Anständige Koordinaten. Aufgepasst. Abgefeuert. Feuer in euer Sektor.
Ziel zerstört!
Attila.
Panzergranate geladen!
Artilleriestart und Koordinaten! Delta! Hier! Niederhalten!
Delta! Wir! Bestätige Koordinaten!
Oh my lord, there was a Lancaster.
Getriebe ausgefallen!
Hold on, Jumbo, I'm coming. I'm very slow. Because I think my crewmen are suppressed.
Hier getroffen!
Panzergranate geladen!
Getroffen!
Einziges Feuer in eurem Sektor!
Ziel zerstört!
Panzergranate geladen!
Ziel zerstört!
Panzergranate geladen! Panzergranate geladen! The enemy's getting closer to victory.
Ziel beschädigt!
You cannot be serious with that fucking volumetric shit, man.
Thank you. Attack these aim points.
Why did you do that?
We need to put more pressure on the enemy. We're winning. Panzergranate geladen.
Ziel beschädigt!
Panzergranate geladen.
Ziel ausgeschaltet!
Panzergranate geladen.
Ziel zerstört!
Artillerieschlag in eurem Sektor. Panzergranate geladen. The white forces have captured the zone.
Oh.